Hey guys, Lindsay here. We're gonna go over a couple of my favorite wrist warm-up movements today. The first one, we're gonna get into a tabletop position on the floor, on all fours, spread out those fingertips nice and wide, get your full palm in contact with the floor, and go for some wrist circles. So we're gonna circle your shoulders around your wrists. You can almost imagine that you have a pencil coming out of your nose and you're drawing a circle on the ground. Go for several repetitions one direction and then repeat going the other way. You can stay in that tabletop position and walk those fingertips outwards so they're facing away from each other now. I like to call these penguins because as you walk back and forth with your shoulders here, we're going to look like March of the Penguins. Rock back and forth, few repetitions in each direction, and you should start to feel those wrists feeling a little bit warmer. Next up, you can walk those fingertips all the way around so that they are facing your kneecap. For some of us, this might be enough of a stretch, and you can just hang out here. But as you start to get a little more mobile, you can start dropping those hips back towards your heels, and we're gonna rock back and forth really gently, pressing those palms down towards the ground as you go. Next up, we're gonna keep those fingertips facing towards your kneecaps, but now we're gonna flip your palms upwards so the bony back of your hand is pressing into the ground. And for many of us, hanging out in this position with no motion is just fine. That's enough stretch right there. But if you're starting to feel a little more comfortable in this position, you can start rocking back and forth very gently here. Last but certainly not least, we can come on down to the ground. We're gonna keep your forearm up, and we're actually gonna use your knee to put a little bit of pressure and manipulate those tissues in your forearm and wrist. I gotta tell you first though, if you have any fake parts in your wrist, I know some of you might have surgery over the years, obviously use common sense, be gentle in those areas. I wouldn't get too hung up about the exact number of reps on each of these movements. I personally go by feel. Some days I warm up easier than others, but for me, this whole series takes maybe 2 or 3 minutes. It's definitely worth doing several times a week, though. You should see a really big difference in how your wrists feel during your training. Hope this helps, guys. Thanks.